So good morning from California after a 30-hour trip from Nájera, Spain. We're American Pilgrims on the Camino Boston chapter, and I'm Lisa Morales.
Did you start using any of that stuff?
Yes. Who we got there? Oh, am I missing somebody in here? And this is Joe Curro. Hi, Joe, wave over there. And he's my co-coordinator, soon to be on the board starting next month of the national chapter, American Pilgrims on the Camino. He lives in Arlington, and we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping business as people are coming in. And then we're going to talk about some Christmas in Spain stuff. And I've got my little teeny tiny nativity of Galician nativity that I got at the cathedral 2 weeks ago. And I just love it because, you know, you have to bring back really small things when you're on the Camino. And then also managed to bring back, and without killing them, some polvorones. So we had to test out all of the polvorones, of course. We had to taste every one in Nájera to get the very best. So we decided that these Felipe 2 are the best polvorones out there. So that's my Christmas from Galicia in California at the moment. So Joe's going to talk about our next program, which is going to be a book discussion, an author discussion. Joe, want to talk about that?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Lisa. She's been coordinating this during her many travels over the last 2 months. So on the Camino and volunteering and everything else. So yeah, we're trying to put together our program for the upcoming year for American Pilgrims. We're going to be kicking it off on January 12th at 7 p.m. With a book discussion, an author discussion actually with Meg Maloney, who wrote a book called Slow Your Roll about her, going off and doing the Camino at the age of 55. If you look up on Dan Mullen's podcast, I think you'll find an episode where she discussed it with him, but she's going to join us in person. We're putting together a schedule for the rest of the spring. We have a couple other author discussions on tap. We have someone who's interested in hosting a coffee for a group of pilgrims to get together and talk. And when the weather turns again after the winter, we certainly would like to get some more hikes going. I know that Lisa had worked on one that was very successful this past fall. So stay tuned. And I would be remiss if I didn't also just say, make sure to check AmericanPilgrims.org. The chapter calendar for us and other chapters is available online there and many of the events are online and are open to any pilgrims as well. There's also information there on membership, which in part helps support the infrastructure of the Camino through our grants program, which is very important after the pandemic. So thank you all for attending, and I look forward to getting to know a lot of you a lot better.
Thanks, Joe. One of the other things that we've got coming up is the National Gathering for American Pilgrims, which will be on the East Coast this year. They're going back to North Carolina. And the 3 days preceding at the end of March is Hospitalero training is finally back. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to rerun the volunteering on the Camino program we did since it never got taped. We'll be re-rolling that before so you can get an idea about volunteer opportunities on the Camino. So watch your email because that will open up for registration beginning of January, and it will fill very quickly. There are also, there's a grant program available to attend Hospitalero training, so don't let that keep you from going. We are announcing, because you're here first, you get the first notice. We are going to have the latest craze is the chapters having their own patches and their own sale. So it's long past time to design the Boston patch and sale. And so we'll be announcing a design contest for that coming up in January. So you have something to do over the winter, get your colored pencils out, or if you're a graphic designer. So be thinking about a design that will incorporate not just Boston, because we cover all of New England except the very north part. So Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Southern New Hampshire. So think about a design that will incorporate all of those things. The other thing I want to mention is that we have a sign-up sheet for mentors and mentees. So if you would like to be a mentor, or if you'd like to have a mentor to work with you one-on-one on Camino questions or on training, then we can certainly hook you up with somebody. And now that we've all learned how to do this virtually, it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody in your backyard. So that's the announcements I have. Did I forget anything, Joe? Just, we also, we have a mailing list. We try to roll out on MailChimp on the mailing list. If you've gotten any emails from us in the past, you don't need to sign up again. But if you'd like to be on the mailing list, just send an email to boston@americanpilgrims.org and we'll make sure you get on the MailChimp mailing list. Great.
And I'm assuming most of you found out about this through the Facebook page, so you know about it, but just in case, facebook.com/Boston Chapter American Pilgrims.
Right. So it's not the like 10,000 person group, but we have our own small group. And it's a great way to connect with somebody right near you to do some walking and practice your Spanish conversation. So with that, I met Maria because I needed, as she knows, lots of help with my Spanish, which always comes out as Franglish. And because I am a fluent speaker of French, I have a really bad habit of inflecting everything in Spanish with a French accent, which doesn't work. So I reached out to Maria and we did some one-on-one lessons that are fantastic. And she is a former teacher of Spanish in Ireland, correct, Maria?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
So she teaches all of the different people who are trying to learn commercial business Spanish, but also especially pilgrims, because Maria lives on the Camino and she is a pilgrim and she knows what pilgrims need to know. So she's going to talk to us about today some Spanish traditions, some Spanish vocabulary. And if you have an experience with spending Spain or would like to know more about spending Christmas time in Spain, we'll have some time for that. I just got back less than 24 hours ago after almost 2 months in Spain. So I've had some wonderful Spanish foods for Christmas. And we can talk about recipes and things too. And then we'll leave the last part if you have basic questions for Joe and I about basic Camino stuff, pandemic stuff. I know everybody always wants to know, but we'll let Maria get back to her Christmas in Spain because she's on the tail end of her day there. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we celebrate Christmas in Spain. It's quite a long celebration. I think compared to other countries, we stretch it a bit. So you see, let me see if I can share a little presentation that I have here. So yes, as Lisa was saying, I do live on the Camino. Actually, I live on the Portuguese in Pontevedra. I used to live in Ireland before, and yes, I was teaching Spanish in person there. So now I teach online, and yeah, I like to teach pilgrims, particularly. I've walked a couple of Caminos, or well, sometimes even, for a day walk, I just walk a stage of the Camino since I have it here outside my door. So let's get to the Christmas stuff. So basically, you could say that Christmas starts, kind of officially starts on the 22nd of December. On the 22nd of December, we have this big, massive lottery draw. The first prize is called El Gordo, this word that you have there on the slide, El Gordo, which means the fat one. But there are many prizes. Okay, this is not a lottery, the kind of lottery where one person wins an indecent amount of millions and the rest don't win anything. This is a kind of lottery where there are many, many prizes. So there's the first one, obviously is bigger, but there's like a second prize, third, there's like 5 big prizes, and then there are loads of smaller prizes. And I mean, this is huge. People start buying these lottery tickets for this lottery in the summer, right? It goes for sale in the summer and people start buying it in the summer. People share numbers with maybe with family members, with a group of friends, with co-workers. So basically, if your number gets one of the main prizes, it's not just you winning, but it's you and either your parents, siblings, whatever family you share the number with, or you and your group of friends, or everyone at your place of work. So, you know, there are many people winning, maybe not huge amounts of money, like millions, but a lot of people winning, you know, it's still a nice prize. So that day is just all about the lottery. They actually show the draw on TV. The draw goes on for close to 3 hours. Okay. And there are these children from a school in Madrid who basically do the thing. So they have 2 drums, like the bingo, you know, like kind of thing. They have a bingo full of balls, big one with the numbers, smaller one with the prizes. Each kid takes a ball and they have this kind of tune that they sing the numbers to. And they just, you know, keep going. When there's a big prize, they kind of have to stop, show the people who are there to control that everything, you know, is done, you know, legally, no cheating, nothing strange going on. And this just keeps going. I mean, as I say, this goes on for close to 3 hours. So that day, is like on the radio, on TV, the only topic is the lottery. It's a lottery in the background all day. Maybe they're talking about something else. A big prize comes up, they stop whatever they're saying. Oh, there's a second prize. What's the number? This is the number. Where was it sold? It was sold here, there, blah, blah, blah. And then in the news later in the day, again, it just talk about all the numbers that got the big prizes, where they were sold. They go there, they interview the people, the whole town is celebrating, whatever, you know, it's a huge thing. It's a really, really big thing. These are the tickets that you have there in the picture. That's what they look like. But as I said, you can even share a number. So you can get like a smaller part and you can share it with friends, family, things like that. And that is very common. That happens a lot, you know, that in the family, they buy a number and they give every person a certain amount, or at work, they get a number and each person say, okay, I want to play €5, I want to play 10 or 15 or 20, whatever. So each person can buy a little share out of that number. And I think I might have to, so I have a video, but I just got a better one than the one I have here. So I think I might have to stop sharing this. And I'm just going to share the other where is it here? The other place where I have the video open. So basically this is the draw is going on. So you can see there, in this case, is two girls. The kids, they change them throughout these 3 hours. Okay, it's not the same two kids. They're going on singing for 3 hours. So you can see, you get an idea of how this goes. 54.580. So you see, you get one here on the right, she gets a number, and the one on the left that has the smaller drum, that those are the prices. So they sing each number. So it's like, okay, this number gets 1,000 euros. That's like the smaller price, 1,000 euros. And when they get a big prize, one of the important ones, they kind of have to stop and go and show the numbers to the people that are, you know, controlling the whole thing. I think there's one coming up soon. 28.504. This should be now the next one also is a big one, I think. Yeah, so see they stop. Well, you get an idea. So they have to go and show these people, and then they go back and they keep going until they finish, and then they change the kids, as I said a few times. But the process, that's why, you know, it takes like 3 hours basically.
So Maria, how big was that prize?
That was, I think, a fifth prize was 60,000 euros.
Wow.
I think that's one of the fifth prizes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's on the 22nd. So now you can say, okay, it's Christmas already. Done the lottery. That's it. Then the next main date is the 24th of December. We call this Noche Buena, which literally means good night. And this is our main family dinner. Okay, we don't have our main family dinner on the 25th. We have it on the 24th. So yeah, this is like a day to be with the family, have dinner with the family, usually at home, because everything at night, I mean, it's not a public holiday. So in the morning, during the day, shops, everything is open. But they usually close earlier than usual in the evening because everybody has to go home and get ready for their dinner with their family. So it's usually done at home and with family. We don't have like a typical dish that everybody would. It's not like, I don't know, Thanksgiving and turkey. There's nothing like that, okay? Each region has different typical dishes, and even within the region, you know, every family could decide to have something different. Here in Galicia, seafood is usually on the menu. I mean, we have a lot of coastline. We're famous for our seafood. So seafood would be most likely on the menu. Scallops are a big thing. Like, for instance, in my family, we always have, one of the things we have are scallops. And so I have a bag full of scallop shells there. I always keep the shells. I'm not sure why I want so many, but I keep them. So that would be common thing, for instance, here in Galicia. Other parts, for instance, inland, it may be like lamb might be more common, or turkey, or some other meat. So everyone has something different. There isn't one typical dish that everybody has. And that's on the 24th. And then on the 25th, more food. This time it's at lunchtime. So another big family meal, but at lunch instead of dinner. So yeah, same thing. Now this day is a public holiday, obviously. So yeah, this day everything is closed. But instead of dinner, we have lunch. I mean, it's common sometimes for people, maybe, if it's a couple, they do the 20, if they don't live too far away from each other, maybe do the 24th with, let's say, the wife's family, and the 25th with the husband. Or if they, live further apart, that they need to do more traveling, maybe they do 25th with one side of the family, and then the New Year with the other side. I mean, it depends a bit on everybody's situation, on how far away or close you live to your family. But anyway, 24th and 25th, they are like, family days to meet with the family and eat a lot. Okay. We don't have, as I was saying, a special dish that everybody would have, but we do have sweets. The sweets are the same everywhere. There are many of them, but these three are the most popular ones, the best known. So this one on the left, I mean, basically all of them, yes, Lisa has polvorones, the one in the middle. Basically all of them, one of the main ingredients are almonds, okay? In the case of turrón, turrón comes in like a bar, like a chocolate bar, you could say, okay? There are mainly two types. The traditional ones there are two types. This one in the picture is called the hard one, because this one has the whole almonds. So the whole almonds are held together with a kind of paste cement made out of honey and sugar. It used to be like in years ago, like my parents would say that when they were young, turrón was very thick. I guess the almonds were less and the cement part was more, so it was really, really hard. They needed a hammer to break it into pieces. Not great for your teeth. Now, these days, they tend to be thinner and they have more almonds, so they're easier, they're not so hard on your teeth. But anyway, this is the hard one. And there is another one, the soft one. The soft one doesn't have the whole almonds. Everything has been blended, grounded, made into a paste. So it's more like a paste. But the ingredients are the same. So basically almonds, honey, and sugar. Then we have these polvorones that Lisa has there. They are, I don't even know what to call them. And the dictionary describes them as crumbly shortbread or something like that, which I don't know. To me, it just means nothing. They are very crumbly. They break very easily. They are quite, they're light, but like heavy, thick at the same time, and there's all sorts of jokes. If you try to put a whole polvorón in your mouth and then say something, and you can't because you have all this thing there. But they're nice. For me personally, they are my favorite. I know they're not everybody's favorites, but I really like them. And the ones on the right is mazapan. So it's little marzipan. They usually come in little figures, different shapes, different, you know, I mean, you can find it in cake shops. Maybe they make a big one, so they can cut slices out of it. But if you buy it in the supermarket, it usually comes like this, like the ones you have in the picture there. Little shapes. So those are common everywhere. You will find those all over Spain, in every house, everywhere. And usually they're only available during the Christmas period, which seems to start earlier every year. I mean, I saw for the first time Christmas stuff in the supermarkets this year, just before around Halloween. Which I thought it was a bit early.
No, it's like here. This polvorone has the fetto a mano, tells you what lot and everything. But I can tell you that the number one ingredient on these after flour is lard.
Yes,
lard.
polvorones, they may have some almond, but yeah, it's flour and lard. Yeah.
So rich. And Turon is so sweet that we could only eat just a tiny bit at a time.
We did a small, for
rich.
me, mazapan is too much, you know, it's too sweet. I don't like it personally that much, but yeah, these ones you will find everywhere around this time of the year, not throughout the year. So those are our Christmas sweets. Now you can find them from end of October, beginning of November, apparently now, until into the new year. And then we have another day, which it's not a holiday, but it's another special day that we have here during this period, and it's the 28th of December. It's called El Día de los Inocentes. In theory, it commemorates the killing of the small children that King Herod, said they should be killed, all the boys under 2 when Jesus was born. Now, this is this is our April Fool's Day. Okay, so this is we don't do April's Fool in April. We do El Día de los Inocentes. Bromas, that word that you have there, that means jokes, pranks. So that's what we do on the 28th of December. Jokes and pranks, and maybe funny news on TV or the newspapers. And what you can do, try to trick your friends, family too. Why this little picture here, this paper person, that would be a kind of classic, mild joke. Cut one of these out and try to stick it on people's back, and without them noticing, obviously. So they would be walking around with this silly thing hanging there from their back. So that's kind of a symbol for this day. There is such now in the last, it's been going on for around 20 years. They do like a big charity event with the show on TV, where people can call and donate money. And basically what they do during this event, it's pre-recorded. They've done this throughout the year, but they show pranks they've played on celebrities. Throughout the year, they get different celebrities, and they get maybe friends, family, other celebrities to, help, and they trick them into, all sorts of crazy things, make them believe all sorts of crazy things. And then, obviously they record this secretly, and then they show it on this day, and people donate money, and it's all for children's charities. So it all goes to children's charities. And you may be wondering how did we go from this killing of children? How do we go to the jokes and the pranks? In theory, that's what we commemorate, and that's why it's called El Día de los Inocentes, or de los Santos Inocentes, the innocent. But apparently this joke tradition comes from some Roman celebration that took place around this time of the year. And during those celebrations, they used to pick a slave and make them the Caesar for the day. So this slave, during that day, they had to give the other people like silly orders that the others had to do. So they had everybody doing silly, crazy stuff. So apparently it comes from that, the joking tradition, okay? They just called it, okay, it's El Día de los Inocentes, but really the celebration has nothing to do with the Inocentes, but with this Roman celebration. So that's on the 28th. And then we get to the 31st, another big day. It's called Noche Vieja, the 31st of December. It's called Noche Vieja, which literally means old night. And we have another big dinner. This time around, it could be with family or not. This is not such a family-oriented day. In this day, it's common for people to first to go and have dinner outside instead of at home. It's also okay for people to go and have dinner maybe with friends, to go away, travel somewhere else and spend it somewhere else. But there is a big dinner. Again, no specific menu. That would be up to each person, each family, or whatever, if you go to a restaurant, a hotel. But there are some elements that have to be there. Well, the sweets that I mentioned before are going to be there, of course. But then I have here grapes. What are the grapes doing here? Well, basically at midnight, okay, on the 31st, we put the TV on, and they will be showing this clock in Madrid. Okay, this place is called Puerta del Sol in the center of Madrid, and there's a building there with a tower with a clock. They'll be showing that, and as the clock goes dong, dong, 12 times, each time we eat a grape. So clock goes dong, grape, dong, grape. So we eat 12 grapes in like 12 seconds, or we try, at least. We do our best. This is meant to be for good luck. We'd have good luck in the new year. And you can see how big this is. Look at the picture on the left. In the past years, they have started selling these little things with 12 grapes, 12 uvas de las campanadas. So there's just 12 grapes just for this night. They're not going to sell these grapes any other time of the year. It's just for the 31st of December, for the midnight thing. And they sell them already, little things with your 12 grapes ready. You just eat the thing, and you don't have to be buying a bunch of grapes and counting them and distributing them. No. So that tells you how big this is. The origin of this apparently is around maybe, I can't remember the year exactly, but 1909, around there. There was that year, there was a very good grape harvest. They had so many grapes that they didn't know what to do with them. Had too many, they couldn't, get rid of them fast enough. They were going to get spoiled. So they came up with this idea, let's tell people to eat grapes at midnight in the new year for good luck. And well, it looks like the idea, was good. We're still doing it over 100 years later. And I mean, it's a huge thing. It's like there are many superstitions attached to the new year, but I mean, everybody will do this. Okay. And if you don't like grapes or you eat something else, like I have an aunt who doesn't particularly like grapes, she takes raisins. Okay. But you have to take something. So the 12 grapes. Other traditions, superstitions, I should say, that people do or not, I mean, it depends, in the new year. If you come to Spain at the moment, right now, you will probably see a lot of red underwear displayed in the shops that sell underwear. That's because it's also considered good luck to wear red underwear on the 31st. Now, someone has to buy that underwear for you. Doesn't work, apparently, if you buy it for yourself. Someone has to give it to you as a present. And then you wear it on the 31st, and that will bring you good luck in the new year. So that's one. There's also something else about putting money in your shoes to have money in the new year. I'm not sure how many people do these things because you wouldn't see if they have money in their shoes or not, but I've heard about these things. Putting money in your shoes, the underwear, I guess, is quite popular because you see a lot of underwear, red underwear in the shops. Now that's for men and women. Okay, we don't make distinctions. What else? Other superstitions for the new year is to start the year with your good foot. So your good foot is supposed to be your right foot. So what people would do is you're sitting down at the table, watching the TV with your grapes. So what you do is you lift your left foot at that time where the clock is going down, 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 so that only your right foot is on the floor, on the ground. So you start the year with your good foot. So these are just 3 or 4 superstitions that some people do. There are more. I'm not sure how widespread or how many people would do them or not. The grape thing, everybody is doing that. I can guarantee you that. If you go and have dinner outside at a restaurant, hotel, you see that we're advertising, the previous weeks, and you hear or you read the ads, and things included, they have the menu, and things included include the grapes. And there's other things that we're going to see now, because, if there's no grapes and the other things, it's like, what is this? No, this is not good. So there has to be grapes at midnight, and there has to be a couple of other things that we're going to see next. So this is very important, the grapes at midnight. And this is the clock. Let me see if the video works. So they show this, from Madrid. There are people who actually go there and see them outside on the square at that time. But, obviously not everybody is in Madrid and not everybody fits in the square. So you watch it from home. let's see. Okay, yeah. Well, you have, there's always a couple of presenters. They're talking and talking there for a while. And they explain when you eat the grapes and not, and well, all of this. And the same thing every year. And then they go back to the clock. You see, they have their grapes ready there. You see, she's talking about the right foot. You should put your right foot forward. So you're talking about some of these superstitions. Well, see if they... Okay, so still don't eat your grapes, you wait. This is just a warning. Still not, these are not the proper, this is another warning. And now you eat a grape. Grape. Another one. And you just keep going until you have 12 grapes in your mouth and you try not to choke. So, yeah, what they are drinking is called cava, C-A-V-A, which is like a champagne, but it's a Spanish one. It's produced in Spain, so that's what people would use to toast, you know, during this whole holiday period. So yeah, that's, you know, now it's easy to know when to eat the grapes. You can see there that they have the numbers and everything. In the past, when technology wasn't so advanced, there was a year when the presenter kind of messed up and she was like, no, it's not yet, this is the warning before. And it was already the proper time to eat the grapes. So a lot of people miss their grapes. I mean, they're still talking about it 20 years later. So that gives you an idea of how important this is. So anyway, that's on the 31st. So dinner first, then at midnight, just a few minutes before midnight, you get your grapes ready, TV on. You do your best with the grapes. And then usually, well, depends a bit on your age, but, you know, typically, especially for the younger people, is just partying all night. Okay, so people, if you have dinner at home, you go out after, so you go out maybe like 1 a.m. That's perfectly normal in Spain. You go out at 1 a.m. and then you just party all night. If you booked something in a restaurant, hotel, they would probably have their party there, so they have to include the grapes. And another thing they must include is, because you go partying for the whole night, and then you don't go home until the next morning, like 8 a.m. on the 1st of January. That would be almost early to go home. From 8, it's okay, it's acceptable. You don't go home before 8 a.m. But 8, you would be one of the first ones to go home. 8, 9. So before you go home, okay, you have some breakfast and typical breakfast on the 1st of January is chocolate con churros, so hot chocolate and churros. So you've been out all night, partying, drinking cava or whatever, and then at 8 in the morning or so, you go and have your chocolate and your churros. So again, this is another thing that any package or whatever plan that you buy offer that a restaurant, hotel offers must include also, you know, the grapes and the hot chocolate and the churros. If not, you know, it's like, what is this? This is not serious, not good. Sorry, we're not going there. So these are a must. They have to be there. Grapes, hot chocolate, and churros for the morning before you go to bed. So as you can imagine, the 1st of January is quite a slow day. Okay, because, you know, people are, you know, sleeping till late, and, you know, yeah, there's nothing much going on the 1st of January, which is called Año Nuevo. So it's el Día de Año Nuevo, so like New Year's. It's a holiday anyway, so everything is closed. 31st is like the 24th. It's not a holiday, so shops during the day are open. They would just close earlier to allow people to go home and prepare for their dinners, but they would be open earlier. 1st of January, holiday, people, a lot of people spending the day mostly sleeping. So it's a bit of a boring day. But we're not finished yet with our Christmas celebrations. There's still more. So the next important day is, well, the 6th of January and actually the 5th too. This is when the Los Reyes Magos, the wise men, come. They are the main present givers. Santa is not part of the Spanish tradition. I mean, now, yes, we do have Santa, and many children get most of the presents from Santa because it's more practical. They have more time to enjoy them, you know, while they're on school holidays before they have to go back to school. But like years ago, no one had heard about Santa. And these guys, they're still much cooler. There's 3 of them. Melchor is the one in the middle with the white beard. Gaspar is the one on the right here in the picture with the kind of brown, reddish beard. And then the other one, the last one, is Baltasar.
Maria, how did you pronounce the 3 wise men together?
Los Reyes Magos. Reyes Magos. And their names, yeah, Melchor, Gaspar, and Baltasar. And they usually arrive in every Spanish town on the 5th. So maybe on the 5th, they arrive in the morning. So there's like a sort of reception. So they go somewhere in the town where children can go and meet them and talk to them and, you know, give them the last, okay, yeah, this is what I want. In case you didn't get my letter, children would have written beforehand letters to them. And in the evening, there is a parade. So most towns would have a parade with the wise men and, well, the usual parade stuff. Obviously, the bigger the town, usually the better the parade. And then during the night, they leave their presents. So you get your presents on the 6th in the morning. When you wake up, your presents should be there if you have been good. Now, if you have not been good, you might get a piece of coal, right? Now, these days, they actually make coal out of sugar. It looks really ugly. It's all black. And yeah, it's just like a lump of coal. It's not nice, but it's made of sugar. So it's actually sweet. So I know of a child or two, the first time they didn't know about this and they got they got gifts, but they got also a piece of coal and they were like all sad and disappointed. And then they tasted it. And the next year they were actually hoping for a little bit of coal too, as well as the presents. So I'm not sure how good the sugar, the sweet coal idea is. But anyway, you can find it, I've seen it already in supermarkets. It says carbón dulce. I'm not sure. I think I took a picture of, you cannot see it because it comes in a little bag, so you cannot really see what's inside. Okay, I have this, see if you can see it. This is a picture I found on the internet. So it does look like a piece of coal. And
the word for coal is carbón.
Carbón, yeah. Let me put it here and see if I can open the chat. Carbón, yeah. Oops, I think it didn't go to everybody. It's not set up to go. Okay, I'll put it later. It's just now if I click on it, it goes to the next slide. So anyway, on the 6th, we have this special cake, which is called Roscomm de Reyes. And it usually has a little figure inside. So whoever gets the little figure is the king or queen for the day. Like the ones you buy in the shop, they usually have like a crown, the paper crown, just decorating it. So if you get the figure, you're the king or queen. And in some places, like here in Galicia, for instance, they usually have also, apart from the figure, there's just usually a bean inside. So the one who gets the bean has to pay for the roscomm. So you get the little figure, yeah, lucky, you're the king for the day. If you get the bean, you have to pay for a roscomm. And I think I have a video somewhere here. Let me stop sharing this of some, highlights of Cabalgata in Madrid, which is the biggest one, obviously. So, this one, they show it on TV every year, and, it's quite big. So see, they have bags. They usually throw in sweets at the people who are on the street watching the parade. There's like characters from children's programs.
And this all takes place on Epiphany on January 6th.
Well, I mean, the video is quite long. I think this gives you an idea. Obviously, as I said, this is the Madrid one, which is the biggest. There should be, let's see if we can find the wise men, where they're coming. They each come in their own float, each king. Let's see if we can. You can see there's all sorts of things there.
So I was in Spain on Assumption on December 8th. And that seemed to also be a big day where they were kicking off the holiday on December 8th.
What happens there is we have like 2 holidays kind of in a row. We have the 6th of December is a public holiday. It's a Constitution Day. And then we have the 8th. So what happens is a lot of people depends on when they fall, which day of the week. But this year was very good because it was Monday and Wednesday. So many people took Tuesday off. So that means they had from Friday evening, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like 5 days off. So people usually use that opportunity to travel, take a short break, go somewhere. So there's a lot of people moving around, and around that weekend is usually when the cities, they switch on their Christmas lights. Like for instance, I think this year many did it on like either Friday, which I think it was the 3rd. Yeah, between Friday and Saturday, so the beginning of this long weekend. So yeah, everything starts looking festive. People usually also, if they're going to put up a Christmas tree at home or whatever Christmas decorations, they do it during that long weekend too. So it starts getting festive. During those days, but yes, I'd say it's mainly because you just have those days off there, so it's people have the time and
we had a number of Puente pilgrims who were only walking.
That's it.
To Wednesday.
People use the opportunity to either go and walk a few stages or travel somewhere. Let's take a short break.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions for Maria or want to share about a Christmas in Spain? You can just unmute yourself.
Hi, it's Meg.
Hi, Meg. We can't see you, but I can hear you.
I know. I'm trying to get on there.
Here we are. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for doing this, Maria. I was looking forward to meeting you because I keep on seeing you on Facebook pages and the APOC Facebook, and I subscribe now to your blog because I'm planning to be on the Portuguese in the spring. And I probably will be asking for advice because you know that area. Well, you will obviously know the area so well. But I will actually be in Malaga New Year's.
Okay.
I hope. I don't know. We'll see.
Start practicing your great beating technique.
Yes. I wanted to know if COVID has changed the traditions for this holiday season, but for me, of course, especially for New Year's Eve, and the day of the Epiphany, because those are the days I'll be there. So that was
Yeah, yes. I mean, the grape thing, well, obviously the New Year, if you're at home, you are at home. But you see, when I show you the video of the square in Madrid, that used to be totally packed full of people. Obviously, they're not allowed those crowds in there now. So that's one thing, one obvious. So no large crowds, they will be checking how many people they allow in there, much more than before. And also the parades, I'm not sure what is going to happen with them this year. Last year, they were a bit not so great. Like, for instance, here where I live, instead of doing like the big parade in the evening, they had the wise men going around like the whole day. So driving around in the special cars and all that, but driving around town, going to different areas, but they didn't advertise in advance where they were going to be, just to avoid people gathering and getting large crowds. So if you were out doing some shopping or going for a walk, maybe, you just, oh yeah, here they are. I saw them. I actually saw them totally by chance. I had gone out to do some things, some shopping, and they were just passing by. So I saw them. So there was no proper parade last year. I'm not sure about this year. I think they were initially thinking of doing something, but now maybe not so much. So I'm not sure how it's going to be. There are certainly more restrictions. They don't want to get too many restrictions and sort of, spoil, if you like, the celebrations, but it's definitely, it will be different because, we would see like no large crowds gathering, like in the square for the grape thing, or the parades definitely will be different too, because, that's also a place where a lot of people there would be huge crowds. Everybody would be there trying to watch, and, so a lot of people in all close together. Yes, definitely that will be affected. Yeah. But there will be something, even if it's not, like the way I show you, because obviously that parade was from before COVID, but there will be something.
Each region has their own COVID rules right now. So Galicia reinstituted the COVID pass, but Madrid does not have that.
That's
region by region.
You have to check whatever region you're going to be in, because each one is different.
And each church I was in 4 different regions, all had severely reduced seating. So every other space in the pews were marked off. So
and generally anything enclosed, inside, indoors, closed spaces, the capacity is limited.
So did you have much experience this year with a palpador in Galicia? We've been seeing all kinds of postings about.
You see what happens with a palpador. Hold on, I have here all I call the Spanish vocabulary that was in the slides, and a few more. I put them together here in a little PDF.
Oh, nice.
So it's the there in that link in the chat. The apalpador. There are, apart from the wise men, there are a couple of local traditions. So for instance, in Galicia, there's this apalpador. In the Basque country, they have a similar character. It's called olenchero. I think I spelled it right. They're both like sort of old, like men, well, or old, not particularly old, but I mean, not very young, who live in the mountains, in the forest, and they come on the 24th and give children gifts. So they're similar. Now, the apalpador in Galicia, he was really a tradition mainly in the eastern part of Galicia, in the mountains. Like, for instance, he would be an important figure in Ocebreiro, places like that. So that part of Galicia, the east in the mountains. Other parts of Galicia, like, never heard of this apalpador. Now, in the last few years, they're trying to kind of bring back, recover, revive some old traditions that have been lost or almost lost. So apalpador would be one of those traditions that they're trying to bring back. But the problem is that many people are not familiar with it to start with, because it wasn't really a tradition. Like, for instance, for my parents who are not from that part of Galicia, they never heard of this apalpador before. So it was more typical in the mountain region, the eastern part of Galicia. I think the one in the Basque country is more popular. Generally in the whole Basque country seems to be more popular. They are similar characters, like a kind of older man who lives up in the mountains, in the forests, and comes down on the 24th and brings gifts for children. That's the general idea. But like the apalpador, it's they're trying to bring him back, but it's not so popular.
It's a tourism board initiative this year, trying to.
It's just, I think the main problem is that he wasn't so popular, or not everywhere to start with. So for many people, it's like, okay, what tradition are you trying to bring back? This was never a tradition for us. It was for certain people, but just in that area. In the rest of Galicia, they never heard of this guy before. So it's not really, let's just bring our old traditions back. It's like, okay, I never heard of this tradition, so why should I bring it back? I didn't even know it existed. So it's, some people have kind of mixed feelings about this apalpador and all that.
Well, thank you. And I will thank you for the vocabulary list for holiday. I will certainly email that out to everyone who registered for the webinar. Oh, have a happy new year. Do you have new classes starting in January?
That's the plan. I haven't set dates or anything yet, but definitely there will be something.
And if you want to learn pronunciation so that you aren't mispronouncing everything you try to order on a menu, Maria is really great with that as well. So thank you so much. Anybody have any general questions before we sign off?
I have one to Maria. Hi, Maria. I wondered whether you also give Gallego lessons, or I'm interested in also just an overview linguistically of the relationship of Spanish, Portuguese, and Gallego. I wonder if that you can do classes also in.
I mean, I haven't been doing, I do speak the language normally, my day-to-day life here. So we could do something, yeah, if you're interested.
Great.
It's not
Lisa,
something I normally do because, you know, most people, they're not interested, like, you know, let's be honest. And with Spanish, you can use it everywhere. Gallego is more limited. I do have a couple of posts in the blog with a few words in Gallego, just a few basic, you know, like greetings and things like that, basic stuff. I think I did one recently, and I had an older one. So there's two posts in there with a few words. But yeah, if you want to explore that, yeah, we can talk about it. No, yeah, there's no problem.
great. Muito bom. Thank
I'm
you, Lisa,
going to
for putting this
share
together.
this. Oh, there's also some wonderful music. I was playing it for Bibi last week when we had the Christmas Revels in Boston, and it was a program on the Camino, and there's wonderful Galician music in that. You can find that on YouTube. So I'm going to play us out with Johnny Walker Santiago's video he made of Christmas in Santiago. And Bibi and I were lucky enough to be able to see some of the decorations were already up in Santiago when we were there last week. I'm never so good at this sharing my screen thing, but I will give it a shot here. Let's see, I want to share, not that one, Christmas songs. Let's see if I can do this. I gotta do share sounds too. Let's try this. Give me a thumbs up. Anybody see it? Can you see Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. And if you see the whole video, you can see that on our YouTube station. we have that and some of our previous webinars. Thank you all. We'll see you in January for our book group, and Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Thank
Feliz
you.
Navidad.
Feliz
Muchas gracias.
Navidad. Prospero año.
Ciao.